All right, we should be live.
So it's time to start screaming.
Sure.
So,
All right, so we should be live.
I have already drawn.
Yay! Create broadcast and start screaming. All right, I'm gonna reblog our announcement and tell people we're actually live now. And also tell them that the link is messed up, so here's the new one. Refresh. Come on. Give me live.
live.
Live. This one's public. Great. Okay. Get shareable link. Link. Paste. Insert. Live now. Woo! Okay.
Yay!
We're live and we are getting ready. Let me just close down that stuff.
It lives.
It lives. And we are doing Lord of the Rings and Factories. Because I'm going to be playing Mindustry, which is a game I've been absolutely obsessed with. While Felix is going to be drawing stuff. Peri, would you like to explain what he's going to be drawing?
Sure. So, Felix is going to be drawing Tolkien characters, but with a twist. We're just going to be giving the descriptions, and they may or may not be very good, especially since it has been a couple years since okay, it's been about a decade since I read the Silmarillion, people. I don't remember everyone. So this is going to go brilliantly, and we are going to describe these characters perfectly, I am sure.
Yes.
But
I'm going to draw them perfectly, I'm sure.
oh, but of course. It'll be
Yes.
based on our descriptions. How can this go wrong?
It could go very wrong.
Does anybody recognize the little guy that I am drawing?
Who's that?
Ah, yes, an elf.
This is the dentist elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That is
It's been even
great.
longer since I saw that one, so.
That is great.
It's been years since I've seen it. I was just like, what's the first elf I can remember? It's this guy.
All right. So, I figured I'm going to start out with a dwarf, just to let you know. And this guy is definitely from the Silmarillion. His character does also make an appearance in the Lord of the Rings series. His name is Narvi. He is a great craftsman of the dwarves who lived and worked at the height of power of Khazad-dûm. He forged... Oh my goodness, of course this website isn't showing everything. He formed a friendship with Celebrimbor, the master artificer of neighboring Aragon. Together these two made their most famous achievement for King Durin III, the doors of Durin that guarded the west gate of Moria.
I'm hearing kind of a buzzing when you're talking.
You're hearing a buzzing when I talk?
Sometimes.
That's not
All the
good.
time. Can't tell if it's my headphones or if it's your talking.
Are you hearing it, Peri?
I was, but it stopped now.
Weird.
Just make sure there's no, like, that your wires are all...
Yeah. I'm not seeing
No
any
chair on the
problems.
speaker wire.
Ah,
All right. So can you tell me again of this dwarf? Now that
Sure.
I'm not trying to figure out if my headphones are doing that.
He formed a friendship with Celebrimbor, the master artificer of Aragon, Eregion. Together they made the most famous achievement for King Durin III, the doors of Durin that guarded the west gates of Moria.
Okay, so this guy was one of the architects of the Doors of Durin.
Yes.
Yep.
You
And
know,
it didn't matter because something came up from underneath anyway.
Wow.
They delved too greedily and
And
too deep. But yeah,
So-
craftsmen, dwarves.
So all we really know is he's a craftsman and he did this thing.
And he's friends with a king,
he was friends with the Celebrimbor, who is an elf. During
Well, if you want Celebrimbor, I mean,
Yeah.
isn't he the one who made
The
helped
ri-
Sauron make the rings without knowing it was Sauron?
Yes, that's another
Yeah.
interesting thing. So definitely a dwarf of high standing. Obviously, was friends with elves.
He knew a
Dwarf
guy.
of high standing.
Oh my
Like,
god!
Is he gonna be on a stool?
No!
I mean, he might in order to look his coworkers in the eye. Some of them.
Why
He's
did
on
I say
stilts.
that?
Or maybe he was just really high whenever he was standing.
Yeah. So we've
That is
got
also an option.
Okay, so the guy's name that is the dwarf. What's it again?
Narvi.
Narvi. Okay, we've got Narvi, and man, that's not anything. Hold on.
Hey, cat. No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I'm trying to do things. No.
I was gonna get a paintbrush so I could kind of work this out at first. I'm still learning where all the things are. There.
So, some fun facts about the name Narvi. It's not the derivation of the name Narvi is not specifically described, but Tolkien seemed to have adapted it from Old Norse Narfi, Narfi. That name appears several times in Norse mythology. In one case as the name of a son of Loki. Its etymological origins are a matter of debate. Some sources connect it with the root word for night, while others interpret it as narrow or confined. If Tolkien was
Alright.
concerned with the particular relevance for the name, which is far from certain, then the latter origin would perhaps marginally be more applicable to the creator of the West Gate of Moria. So there you go. You got information on his name.
What I'm
Tolkien did
thinking
love his
is-
languages.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, that's fine. I'm like kind of thinking about where his beard stuff goes because they've always got beard stuff. Beards, you could just call them beards instead of calling them beard stuff.
I don't know. I like beard stuff as the name for it.
I think the one in front is going to be kind of bundled up a couple times so it can't get burnt, and then like like some of the side beard is going to be over the shoulders to the back, so he gets less beard on fire. Because I'm just thinking he's like forging a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely would do a lot of that.
So let's get all the hair out of the way. Basically. And I was thinking probably he's gonna have like apron, craftsman's apron. He's not gonna be wearing armor like most of the characters you see in the movies are.
Right.
He's gonna be making the armor. So there he is. He's a little guy.
Yes, dwarves are little guys.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
I gotta draw this little guy. I'm thinking some big boots, probably got metal toes on them, so he's safe in the OSHA workplace. Maybe he's got a helmet for
Maybe eye
safety
protection?
purposes. Yeah, I was thinking before maybe some big goggles. So let's kind of build it all in there. It's got the goggle helmet. When you see this guy up close, you can see more of his face. I'm thinking like give a view of it over here. Yeah, the feel I'm getting is kind of like Inji from Team Fortress 2.
So let me see if I can find information about the dwarves during this time. So,
It's like I want to give him a dwarf nose, but not one of those freaking ridiculous noses from the Hobbit movies.
okay, so during the third, he was the king during the height of the friendship with the elves of Eregion. According to legend, he was given a ring of power. The ring that would later be known as the Ring of Thror by the elven smiths of Eregion.
Yeah, as I said, definitely knows a guy.
Yeah.
And the guy is
Knows a guy.
Celebrimbor. Or Celebrimbor? Celebrimbor, I think.
Oh, and this is the first of the 7 dwarf rings to be forged. So this is definitely like very early on. Looks like it was in, let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's in the Second Age. Which was after, this was when Morgoth was basically,
Less goth.
Yeah.
yes, he was chained in Valinor for most of it. Yeah.
He was gone.
And
But yeah, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say
Just goth.
Sauron is pretending to be a
Just a guy.
Maiar from, well, Alway, who is the smithing earth, like Valar. He did actually study under Alway before Melkor corrupted him, or Morgoth. He goes by both names. And so he shows up as, oh goodness, what is his name during that time period?
Oh, I know this one, but I forgot it. That's going to be what I say about a lot of this, really.
Yeah, I'm on Encyclopedia of Arda just to like remind
Myron?
myself.
Was it that?
No, I think that was Myron was the.
Oh, his original name.
I think so. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can find. Also called.
They all have so many names.
Yes.
I remember
Here
having
we
to take
go.
notes. when I read
Sauron
this
in
one
the
earlier.
Second Age. Anatar, the Lord
Ah,
of Gifts. Yeah.
The Lord of Animated Gifts?
No.
Are you telling me he's the Lord of Animated GIFs?
Well, he was a ringleader, so
Yeah.
My God, if you're a ringleader in this series, it's gotta be.
a ringleader.
Oh man. What have I opened myself up for in starting this? So yeah, that's basically everything that I can find about Narvi.
Let's see if I can get more detailed with this.
Let me see if I can find more facts about the dwarves in general.
That might help. I mean, a lot of these characters, there have been debates on Tolkien lore about how some of these characters looked like or were like for many years. So a lot of this is kind of down to what we think of as a dwarf or what we think of as an elf.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the do elves have pointy ears debates, but
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
And also, let's not get into the Balrogs.
Oh, man.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yes. So, this was during the height of Khazad-dûm, or the Mines of Moria. This was before they delved too deep and awoke the Balrog. This was also during the time when they were most working with Mithril. Obviously, because the west gate of Moria has Mithril in it. So, wanted to read some facts about Mithril, because obviously this guy is going to be working with it a lot. Also called true silver and many other names besides, the remarkable metal that the dwarves discovered in the mines of Khazad-dûm. It was supple and easy to work, and could be polished to shimmer like silver that never tarnished, and it was stronger than steel. The metal held a value almost beyond price. In Numenor, King King Tar-Telemati became so greedy for mithril that it gave him his name. Telemati means silver hand. The dwarves' discovery of mithril drew the Noldor to found the kingdom of Eregion in the lands immediately westward of Khazad-dûm. So basically, they moved together to like be friends. Apparently, the elves just wanted the mithril really bad.
Well, I think... Well, the thing about Tolkien is everyone at all times wants the shiny object.
Yes.
Whatever's the big shiny object of the moment, that's what everyone wants, and that's what all the wars are over.
Mm-hmm.
First was the Silmarils, then it was, in The Hobbit we get the Arkenstone, and then there's the rings. Like, every conflict, it's shiny. So, Mithril, not surprised, causes conflict because it is shiny.
And, I mean...
There you go, a summary of Tolkien.
The Silmarils were the original shiny, so there's a lot of that going on.
They really were. Mm-hmm. And there you have the entire first age is just, everyone wants the shiny.
Everyone wants the shiny. Mostly for various reasons, some of them more noble than others, because during the first age, the two trees of Valinor, I believe one of them was sucked dry by Ungoliath, the giant spider.
Yep.
Shelob is actually one of his descendants, so fun fact there. But the Silmarils were made in the light and captured the light of the two trees. So the Valinor, the Valar were trying to get, oh goodness, what is his name? It starts with an F.
That does not narrow it down.
I know. Let's
Red
see.
Flintstone.
Fëanor. Feanor. Fëanor.
I could have guessed that one. He's the one who made the Silmarils.
Yes. They were trying to get, the Valar was asking him to give them up so they could remake the trees. And he said no.
Of course he said no, it's Fëanor.
Yes.
Or Fëanor.
So...
he's, in case anyone does not know who Fëanor is, he's a jerk.
He is. I'm pretty sure he, was the main reason for the kinslaying?
He was.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because he wanted to keep control of his own property. No, that's sensible. No, he's just a jerk
Yeah.
all around for
Yeah.
many, many reasons. But yeah, it wasn't. I can understand him not wanting to give up his shinies. That's normal.
I mean, especially since like he made it and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing." Whoops, the tree's dead. Now, can we have your shiny?
But then he got a lot of people killed, and
yeah. And
most
then,
of them related to him.
yes.
Kind of rude.
Like, there's actually believed to be a curse on the Cimmerals because he was so stubborn and refused to, but it's debate on whether it's an actual thing or if it's just Tolkien, his
Turn of phrase.
his beliefs coming through on, like, doing things for the greater good versus...
Well, Tutankhamun's curse was still pretty well known and believed in at the
Ooh,
time.
that's very true.
It was a while before they really figured out that most of those guys died of, like, within the time period you'd expect them to die in.
Well, there's also just the question of Tolkien often liked to write in a sort of mythological, atmosphere and story, and it's hard, and as if it was being written by the historians of Middle Earth, so it can be hard to distinguish between what Tolkien actually thought was the case versus what people in that world thought was the case,
right,
versus what was actually
the case.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was very big on pseudo-historical accuracy. I mean...
Well, there's, like...
And he was very good at it.
Yes.
Like, ancient historians that were known for not being very accurate and instead just kind of mythologizing history. So, like, he's certainly following in the footsteps of history's history.
And that would delight him that was the assessment, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, if there may or may not have been an actual curse on the Silmarils, so to speak, but people believe there were, and that is sufficient to make it kind of canon-ish.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
So I'm kind of giving this guy, like, larger eyes because the goggles are magnifying them.
Ooh, fun.
I really like the idea of just, they have full-on goggles or glasses, basically, here.
I mean, they were said to be able to work things so well, both mineral and, like, gems and metal, so it would make sense that they would be able to make, like, quartz glasses or something like that.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I like that it is that sort of thought put into it, rather than, it's...
They should be able to use that to, like, do something cool, too. Like, you could have magical freaking goggles.
Yeah.
Magitech, yes. I love it.
Be able to zoom in.
Really, if you look at Tolkien, there's wizards and magic and things, but often it's not really clear exactly how that all works. But the one thing that he really well defined, and where magic really has lasting and strong impact, is often in the artifacts and the magical items and devices. So it makes a lot of sense that would be something the dwarfs would be very good at, because that's just one of the most powerful... Well, those are portrayed as some of the most powerful things in Tolkien. It's crafted things.
And I mean, like, the times that we see dwarves in the Lord of the Rings and in The Hobbit, their society is actually in decline. In The Hobbit, it's because Smaug is basically, like, killed pretty much every dwarf that was in the Lonely Mountain. Like, only the ones who were outside survived. And then in the Lord of the Rings, they did sort of build up the Lonely Mountain. And some of the dwarves did try to go and reclaim Khazad-dûm. And that was sort of the big thing, because it's not really shown in the movies, but the whole thing is like Gimli is talking the whole time of, oh, we should take the pass to Moria. You know, my cousin Balin, who is actually in The Hobbit, he along with a company of dwarves went to Khazad-dûm to take it back over. And they had reports for a while, and that was actually part of the reason why Gimli and his the rest of the company of dwarves were coming to Rivendell, was because there were reports of orcs in the mountains, and they had lost contact with Balin and the dwarves in Moria. So
Yeah, I'm not sure hobbits were in decline, but I think
No.
pretty much everyone who wasn't humans or hobbits was.
I mean, if
well,
hobbits
elves
were in
definitely.
decline, how would
Well,
you really
no.
tell?
Humans kind of were. Well, it depends on the variety of humans. Numenor fell, so humans.
Yeah.
A subset of humans was definitely in decline or gone. Numenor being pretty powerful, really.
Yes.
So hobbits just never had, a high point, so they don't really
No.
have a low point either.
Well, I mean, I believe
No one really knows where they came from.
They stopped wearing vegetables in their hair. So this is really their high point.
Yes, the vegetables in their hair was a high point. Excellent.
No, this is their high point now because they're no longer doing
Oh, they're no longer doing that. Got it.
They stopped. Oh, God.
Oh, whoa.
Program, work with me here.
We're getting flippage.
There's the edge of the camera. Alright, top half of this guy's face. Nailed it.
Awesome. Would
Looks
you
great.
like a different character? Hold on, let him
I'd like to
choke.
finish. Yeah, I've got like a sinuses happening, of course. I'd like to finish like basically the bottom half of this, and then just kind of like move on to a different one. I think.
Okay.
'Cause, I think we're almost at the bottom of the well with this one.
Gotcha. All right, I'll get the information queued up for the next person. There we go.
I'm also sort of feeling out the limits of this program because I'm a really sketchy. Like whenever I draw, I sketch a lot, and some programs slow down whenever you make that many marks at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for this first stream, I'm kind of just leaving it to Shadow because Shadow's knows some that he wants to do, and so.
Yeah. No, I've got a list. It just makes it easier. So, and then I just pull out the next one.
I might come up with something later on, but
Yeah.
just letting you know.
Yep. Ooh. So,
And see.
Most of his stuff is probably braided leather or something because if it's metal, it's going to get too hot. If it's cloth, it's probably going to set on fire.
Good thought.
I really love the thoughts you're putting into this. Like,
Me too.
this is really awesome.
This is the thing that like D&D really helped with was like just kind of getting a feel for like other people's characters or just characters in general. Like And I really like. I really liked drawing people's characters whenever I was at any kind of role play thing.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, what defines like a character's looks is like what it is that they do and um like what is it that they have to have with them.
Yeah. That's
It
really
also,
cool.
since it's so combat focused a lot of the time, it also tells you where their weaknesses can be, and so that's where like that metal gets hot comes in maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I'd like this guy would probably be more of an NPC. Like you talk to him to get some information or get an object.
Maybe a quest.
Um,
He is pretty high up.
Ooh. One of these days, I should try Lord of the Rings Online and play an actual Lord of the Rings game while we're doing this. But
are
yeah,
there any good ones are there any good Lord of the Rings games now?
I mean, the
I
original.
think it depends on what you mean by good. Like lore friendly, good games. There, yeah.
Games I know the Gollum game was bad.
Yeah, that one was
That was bad, but it was like kind of YouTube gold.
so bad it's good. Yeah.
In this game, you have a choice whether you get to kill your bird friend at the end.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. That was just so messed up. Like, the whole thing
So weird.
was so strange.
Sounds like it. I don't actually remember this game, so
Oh, wait.
The
it sounds
Gollum
familiar.
game, that was a few months ago. I think it was like the end of 2023.
Yeah.
And several people I follow on YouTube were all like playing it to show how bad it was.
Oh god, I just looked it up. That's horrifying.
I was going
Very
to say,
bad.
don't look it up. Don't do this
Look,
to yourself.
I'm not looking up many things. I'm just okay. Well, that was sufficient. I don't feel the need to go further. I'm good.
And the problem was like the worst part of the game was that it was fairly boring.
Oh no, that it really is the death knell to games. It's not when they're that it's boring is the worst sin a game can actually have, in my opinion.
Yes. Amazing.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and save this guy.
He looks good.
What's his name again?
Narvi
Narvi.
Narvi.
with an
Yeah,
I
his
at the end
with an I, like
instead of an EY.
AR.
Narvi.
Okay,
Yep.
and his favorite drink is a Narvi wallbanger.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I had a place I was putting this stuff. And that's how he organizes it.
Okay.
Okay, now we're done with Narvi, and next test subject.
Okay. This is Escalith. He was the chief counselor of Elrond's household at the time of the War of the Ring. He actually took part in the Council of Elrond and did not support the idea of destroying the ring and preferred instead the notion of guarding it from Sauron, perhaps with the aid of Tom Bombadil.
Okay, so
Not Tom Bombadil.
the ring is over here. And got a guy over here that's guarding it with a big sword. that guy is an escalator.
Yes. Defend them by just reversing the direction away from the ring. And speeding up.
It's
So
an
people just
escalator
go
constantly
flying.
going down, and they're trying to go up, and they'll never get there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I think this pin tool is rather slow. Ah! Tyler, the buzzing, it's Apple.
Yeah, that's...
The sudden silence. Ah!
Oh no, it's back! Oh, now it's gone.
I guess he's working on it. So we have uh I I don't remember his name other than Escalator.
Escalith.
Escalith, okay. What do all these symbols mean? So Escalith was like, I don't want to do a fellowship. I think we could just take the ring and guard it forever.
Yep. I mean, the ring is really powerful, you know? And there's... we all know about Boromir and, how he wanted to use the ring for his own sake, but, that's definitely not the only one. It's a very powerful object. People want it, and people see that it could be useful and used for good, perhaps. Even if the people who really know how this thing works know it's a bad idea. Not everyone has studied this ring, or... But Galadriel is also like 6,000 years old and was related to a lot of
She's
people
like
who
6,000
would
years
be
old.
relevant. Was it she 6,000 years old?
I don't know. Tyler is off.
No. Ah! Oh my goodness. Okay.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good except a cat getting in my face.
Of course.
Okay, is the buzzing gone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
The buzzing is gone.
I don't know how I fixed it, but I unplugged everything and plugged it back in.
That is the traditional way to fix technology. Yes. It just works.
Yes.
Trying to give this guy crossed arms while also trying to remember everything about anatomy. So I think shoulders go over here now. He's gonna have a cloak. Everybody's got a cloak in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Oh, if I give him a table, then his elbows can be on something. Now you know how art works. I've given away the secret. Ah.
How art works.
He's just dancing. He's like, nope, I did not consent to be on this stream.
Nor to get rid of the ring.
I hate when art programs do that. Alright, so he's gonna
I
have
consent to nothing, ever.
fancy gothic chair. I think this is him at the Elrond's what did you call it? Is it
The
Council
Council
of
of
Elrond.
Elrond.
council? Yeah, Elrond's council. So he's there. And he's like, no, this is bad. I think we should. Okay, like, look, Boromir, get over here, and we're gonna make a different gift set. I'm gonna give you my plan. This isn't gonna be about riding the catapult to the Mount Doom. Instead,
What?
we're gonna hide it. We're gonna hide this in a hole.
The
We're
catapult.
gonna hide it in a
mountain.
big hole, and then I'm gonna be an escalator only going up, so it'll never go down into the hole. Get with me here. Somebody has to understand. We just need to put it in a hole.
We just need to put it in a hole.
A little
hobbit
guy
hole.
had it in a cave for like 300 years. How hard could it be to put it in a hole?
Just put it back in the cave. It'll all be
Give
fine.
it back to the little guy.
It worked. It worked for 300 years. Could work for another 300 years.
Give Gollum back the ring 2024.
Hey, you joke, but that's what worked in the end, was giving Gollum back the ring.
Well, I mean, he sort of took it
Give
back
back
by...
the ring 2024.
I mean, yes, I don't think Gollum expected things to go downhill the way they did immediately afterwards,
And
but
so quickly.
Gollum, take the wheel.
and so fiery.
Gollum, take the wheel of fire. Oh, goodness. Alright, so we have...
You wouldn't steal a ring of power.
Oh. So many people
It's
have...
not made of steel, so, you know.
You wouldn't download a Silmaril.
I think there are people who totally would have, though, if they could have.
Okay, I'm gonna need to do a second sketch layer for this. Back to paint. I like all the art programs that I draw in best are like 10,000 years old. So I'm kind of learning them all again.
Squiggle.
10,000 years old. This is rock. We need to move to shinier rock. Because that's what technology really is.
Alright, let's see what other information I can have.
All right, so does this guy look old or is he like elf young?
He is older. Let's see.
What do older elves look like? How do older elves look old?
Oh no, the debates are starting up again.
Oh,
I can
no.
already hear
Oh, no.
the wars.
Oh no. We don't know much about him directly, but basically, to have become Elrond's chief counselor, this is quoting from Encyclopedia of Arda, of course. To have become Elrond's chief counselor, we must presume that he was of an elf of some considerable age and experience. The timeline presumes that he went with Elrond to Rivendell at the time of its founding in Second Age 1697, but there is no direct evidence for this other than his high standing in Elrond's household.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, given that, like, Galadriel was 6,000 years old, we don't know that she was as pretty as, you know, in the movies.
Yes.
But we can assume that they probably aren't, like, decrepit, bent, and, you know,
No.
Age.
Let's see what, Let's see.
Let's see. You have longer ears and a longer nose, because those never stop growing, basically.
Okay.
I love the mental image of just, you can tell how old an elf is by how long their nose is.
So there's like a Greek myth where, like, I don't remember the goddess, but it's Selene's sister. She like falls in love with this guy and asks Zeus to keep him from dying, and so the guy grows so old he like shrivels up into a grasshopper.
I remember that one, yeah.
And then Celine is like, you know what? Not that. Can you just have him go to sleep and stay young forever? And I could just look at him.
Yeah,
That
I remember that
was
Greek
the solution. That was Endymion, and then it became Sailor Moon and less creepy.
Right.
I've never actually watched Sailor Moon, so sounds legit to me.
The 90s anime is my favorite incarnation. But it's 200 episodes long, literally. So
Yeah. I think the longest ones I've managed to sit down and just watch have been like 60 episodes.
Mm.
And those had to be pretty good for me to do
the
that.
first season is like 46 or 50 something. Like, usually anime is divided up into 26 episode chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Or 13 episodes, and that's a half season. But Sailor Moon, they just like let that thing freaking sprawl.
Yeah. Well, it was the 90s, and things were a little different back then. Plus, it was one of the few that came over here to America, so...
Yeah, that was exciting.
Those get even weirder, I feel. Especially in the 90s when you had the American attempt at dubbing and censoring.
Oh my gosh. That's why
I haven't watched it, but I've heard things.
That's why it's so hard to recommend Sailor Moon, is because you've got to recommend a specific incarnation of it. Like, do you like bad dubs? Well, you need to like get the first dub of Sailor Moon, because that's the worst. Do you like funny dubs? Well, then you want the more recent dub.
I do like funny, but...
Mm-hmm.
Shadow and I watched 2 of the new dubs of Sailor Moon movies in the theater, and everybody in the theater was laughing.
Oh my goodness.
Mamoru threw a flower at me!
Yes, that was literally a
the
complaint.
most miserable thing that has ever happened.
Like, it's a real line, and it really is... That is the actual literal translation of what he says, but the voice actor manages to make it sound so stupid it can't be. In like a perfect way. All right.
One of these days I might have to watch it, but I don't sit down and watch things very often. So, not these days. I used to.
Okay,
in college, I watched a lot of anime.
He's gonna have gauntlet sleeves. That's what I call it whenever they have huge cuffs that look kind of like armor, but they're not really.
I will be off mic for a bit.
Oh no. All right. But yeah, elves. Well, elves get associated with fancy things a lot. And given that they are the main driving factors between half of the wars of the shiny, as I'd like to call it. I mean, the dwarves also could get pretty obsessed, but they made the shiny, so I think that they were more about crafting them than, go fighting wars to acquire them.
They controlled the means of production.
Yeah, and they got upset when people stole their work, as anyone does when people steal their work.
Tough. Stole my entire mountain.
Yeah, that would make me upset too.
So I got confused watching the Hobbit movies, which I know no one ever did besides me. And like, so Smaug moves into the mountain because there's so much treasure there already that he gets attracted to it. Like, that's what I remember.
Well, Smaug, I believe, and it's been a while since I read the books, and the movies kind of went by in a blur. The Hobbit only is one book, but from what I remember about Tolkien dragons, Smaug was a relatively young one. So we can kind of assume that the older ones, I believe, were, well, they're more powerful, they have all the stuff, so Smaug is kind of moving out and going where there isn't as much competition.
I see.
If I remember correctly, which I either am completely correct, or some Tolkien person who knows better than me is absolutely cringing right now just listening. So
Let me see if I can find the Encyclopedia of Arda entry on smog. I think I was listening in and it sounded mostly correct. I just don't remember exactly if it... Because there is some debate, because during the time of The Hobbit, Sauron was starting to stir things up in the east. So, Smog deciding to move at that time could have been part
He
of it.
moved out to the suburbs where it was more quiet.
Okay, so Smog was the last of the great fire drakes and said to be the greatest dragon of his time. At some time during the 28th century of the Third Age, he came to hear the immense wealth held by the dwarves of Erebor, which is the Lonely Mountain. In the year Third Age 2770, he flew from the north and descended in fire on the Lonely Mountain, destroying the dwarf kingdom and the nearby township of Dale. Oh, I forgot he destroyed Dale, too.
Yeah.
And then, basically, he broke into the vaults, gathered all the treasure together into the Great Hall, and slept on it.
So he was the last of the dragon, of the Great Fire Drake. So I wasn't quite correct.
The
I
last
knew
of
that...
the Red Hot Swamis.
So basically, he just heard, there's a really good horde here. You got it. Okay.
It's very interesting that he basically settled in and it looks like he just like slept a while. Because it says the people of the Long Lake to the south had almost forgotten the dragon of Erebor. I mean,
it sounds like if I were a dragon and I had everything that I wanted, a nice long nap does sound like just the crowning bit.
Right?
To me. I could go for a nice long nap.
Just sort of, yep, that's it for me. Nap time. So.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
I gave this guy a fancy hat.
Nice.
I like it.
He doesn't.
Oh, does he have a monocle?
Yes, he does. He has a monocle. It's like he's
love
fancy
it.
upper crust. He has a monocle. It's probably cosmetic. It's not even functional.
And multiple rings. He does love his rings.
Yeah, he's. I'm sure that he's earned all kinds of like, oh, here's a token of my appreciation for your service. He like throws it into a bucket. Yeah, it's been like 6,000 years. We've got a lot of these now.
He wants to be Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not.
Sitting in Elrond's fancy chair, and he says, "This is a crappy plan. Let me tell you about how we're going to save the world by just throwing the ring into a big hole and forgetting about it. Unless someone I've allied with needs to use it, and then I'll just go get it for a little bit and put it right back in. You don't need to know about that."
Goodness.
Completely reasonable. Here, now he's old.
There is nothing wrong with this plan whatsoever. I see no problems. Everything solved by digging a big ditch.
Right.
Single wrinkle on an elf. Now he's old.
Perfect.
Cool.
Old now.
Are you ready for a new guy?
Yeah, let me save this one. S.
Ooh, this is
How's it
interesting
spelled?
one.
Uh,
Escaflowne. I don't.
E
you know what?
S.
Sure.
Sure. His real
He's
name is
named after an
Escalith, but
anime.
okay.
I could have gone and looked up the spelling again, but I
Yeah.
didn't really. I prefer just Escaflowne. Sounds great.
All right. So, this next person is a man. This is
Human man.
during the War for the Ring, in which the elves and humans banded together on Gladden Fields to try to dispatch Sauron once and for all. This was during the battle where Isildur cut off the ring. Throw it into the fire! That stuff.
No.
The person's name is Protheoden, and he was actually the squire to Isildur's eldest son, Elendor. He was knocked to the ground and left for dead by orcs in the disaster of the Gladden Fields, but he recovered from his injuries and was one of only 3 men to survive and bring the... this was afterwards. This is when Isildur was ambushed, and
Oh, you survived the ambush?
he survived the ambush and brought back news that Isildur was killed.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's just make all this go away. That was all just while I was listening. So Squire of the Sun. So the son, did he survive too?
No, he didn't.
Lots
Let's
of people
see
dying.
who survived.
Yeah, who all survived? I know Isildur had to have someone like that's Aragorn's ancestor, right?
Yes, Isildur
Yeah.
was the one who cut the ring off Sauron's hand and then refused to throw it into the fire.
Yeah, and then it ended up in a river, and then it ended up with
This is
Gollum.
when it ended up in the river.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right, that
So
ambush. Yeah.
so the Squire survives. Who's the other 2 people who survived?
It doesn't say. I'm trying to find
That's-
it.
Weird, because how did?
Some people are more important than others.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm
this
just
Squire
picking
guy.
random people. Like, I'm literally just looking at a list of names and clicking it and then reading what the biography is. That's how I'm choosing.
But someone probably needed. Well, you said he survived that one. I kind of feel like I remember this guy, but it's been a while, and I'm better with second age or first age, honestly.
Ah!
Oh, no,
Sound.
not the buzzing.
Not the buzzing! Not the buzzing!
But oh,
World War I.
or it would have been lost to the ages.
The Great War. The war to end all wars.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. I lost all audio for a second, so
Oh no.
I don't know how much stream caught, but I couldn't hear anything for a bit.
I don't know. Did you hear us talking?
No, I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, I was just explaining how, with the ring lost, Tolkien obviously needed someone to tell the story of,
Yes.
well, afterwards, because he wasn't going to just write from an omniscient standpoint, where he tries not to much of the time, so someone had to be able to bring back that news.
Yeah.
So I was saying that he's fallen into the brush, but he's actually pretending to be unconscious.
Ah.
Which makes sense to me.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
I mean, he's just a squire. There's no way he's going to be able to do anything against whatever it is that jumped the whole gang. But he probably wouldn't tell them that he got knocked off his horse and didn't just stayed on the ground.
Yeah.
He totally got knocked out. There's nothing he could do.
Of course. Nothing he could do whatsoever.
I mean, I could probably look it up, but I've just been going on a wiki walk here
Yeah.
on dragons, and I don't want to. And I've got
Oh.
enough tabs already, actually.
Yeah.
This is his horse.
Come on. One of only 3. Where is... Urgh.
That
like
poor
hiding-
horse, not the horse.
It's a dead horse. Someone beat a dead horse and he hid behind it.
Oh.
I feel bad for laughing.
Why?
Hey, maybe his horse fell on him.
Wow.
There's
That
only
is
so much you
true.
can do then.
It could have happened that way.
That is a danger.
Yes.
That would be one way to disguise that he was not dead. Just a whole horse.
Stuff on the ground. Alright, so I killed a horse.
How terrible.
Tolkien killed everyone else though. So but everyone else but 3 guys.
Oh my goodness.
I'm only responsible for so much. Okay, what was this guy's name?
Ugh. Why is that? Sorry, I'm trying to fix something.
All right. Protheodon?
Thank you.
Protheodon?
Protheodon.
Managing a stream is hard work. Especially when my mic keep buzzing. Alright, let me see the next one. Alright. I had it. Now I don't. Hold on. I should have these pulled up ahead of time. Alright.
Okay, we're still figuring our stuff out.
So... Narmasil. He was a king of Gondor.
Golden Army.
He wasn't that great of a king and tired of the role. After 14 years on the throne, he turned over the rule of Gondor to his nephew. But his nephew, Minalcar, only ruled as regent. So apparently Minalcar actually did more for Gondor than Narmacil, because he actually routed the armies of the Easterlings, fortified the borders of Gondor, and actively pursued diplomacy with Gondor's neighboring tribes. So
I don't know if you're looking at what I'm actually drawing.
Narmacil is chiefly remembered as being Gondor's second childless king. I am not looking at what you're drawing. Oh my god.
It just sounds like a product. All right. So Narmacil was a king of Gondor, but then his son was only a regent.
No, his nephew was the.
Ah! Negative reinforcement.
Better.
No. Hold on, I gotta AFK myself.
I've tried just turning my sound off and back on again. I don't hear any buzzing anymore.
Now?
Oh, well, there it is. Yay.
Weather's really getting my sinuses.
Oh no.
Is he still working on it, or is he back?
I think that he's still working on it.
I'm back.
Oh,
Yay.
and without a buzz again. Nice.
Yay.
So, we're talking about Gondor and kings thereof.
So, Narmacil was the second childless king, and that's mostly what he's known for. His nephew is basically acting as his regent. For some reason, he doesn't just abdicate the throne entirely.
Your volume is very loud.
I don't know what happened.
Well,
shoot.
That's what I can share with you.
Let me take a look at what's going on. Why is everything so wrong? It's not showing as loud on my end.
You sound fine to me.
So maybe you just need to turn me down.
And maybe I just need to turn my volume down. That's what I did. So this guy, Narmacil, is a king.
Yes.
He ruled, but he decided to give up for some reason. We don't know why.
He just got bored.
Okay, so we have like...
Or he just didn't like it, you know?
When did he give up his rule? Like, was he old or like...
No. It doesn't really
so.
say when, but it was like 14 years on the throne, and he was basically like told his nephew, it's your turn. You take care of it.
You do this crap now.
Yep.
Yeah.
How hard was it to
personally
rule Gondor?
I don't know.
Paperwork. I mean, that's just my guess. But, you know, the paperwork, the demanding people, the having to make all those decisions.
Right?
I mean...
And I'm pretty sure this guy was in the Third Age, I believe, so... it's after the fall of Numenor. They've probably gotten a lot of refugees. It's just a mess. Yeah. Even if it's not that close to Numenor, it's... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
No. It's not a good time.
And really, I kind of wish that more... Well, at least he's honest about it. And doesn't try to keep ruling as a bad ruler.
Yeah. But, basically he's still king in name, but, Minilcar, his nephew, is basically doing all the heavy lifting.
The buzzing.
It's... Well, now it's...
And then it stopped. And then...
Yep.
It's got kind of a little bit of a beard, but, like, not much of one.
Just enough to maybe look a little...
Ah,
Is the
there we
selection
go.
tool.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something up with the cord. I have to, like, move it into place every time you guys say it's buzzing, so I think something's loose in it. Don't.
That's always annoying.
Yeah.
There, now his hand is in the better place for anatomy's purposes. So this guy, I don't know, like when someone's a craftsman,
Oh no.
it's like
Just the
audio
buzz.
roulette.
King of Gondor, which makes it a little fancier.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
I moved it, and I moved me.
I think part of it is that I'm hearing either the fan in the background or the air purifier.
I turned the air purifier off. It might be the fan. Let me get that.
And when you were asking, by the way, about age, the
yeah.
kings of Numenor, I believe, were descended from... I mean, the kings of Gondor were descended from Numenorians, and Numenorians could live like 200 years or so.
Oh man.
So 14 years of reign is relatively a short amount of time as far as their lifespan. So, thinking about it, he probably wasn't all that old, or, you know, he was probably pretty young by standards of kings of Gondor.
You know, that reminds me, there was a British king who abdicated, and that's why Elizabeth got the throne. Elizabeth II, like her uncle, I think, was like, "Yeah, I just don't want to do this king thing. Someone else do it."
And here we have the paperwork.
Yes.
The real nemesis.
All that you see before you is now yours, my predecessor. Heavy weighs the crown, and heavier weighs the paperwork.
Perfect.
Okay, Felix isn't yelling in fear anymore, so I guess I fixed it.
Yes.
We'll see how long this lasts. Okay. Should pause my game and actually try to figure out the next thing.
He's probably just got like a nice. This is just like his office. This isn't throne room or anything. So
Yeah. So fancy chair, but not too fancy. Like,
this is his signing things chair. This isn't like an official event chair.
yeah. He does not like this chair. The signing things chair.
Once you give up the throne, you don't have to sit in the signing things chair anymore. One more piece right here. You know, I'm just gonna follow my instincts, and I'm gonna give this guy an eye patch.
To better hide the boredom.
Yeah, he's got an eye patch.
Now I'm just believing he can totally see under that thing. He knows that people will notice if he is bored, and this lets him roll at least one eye
Yes.
without them noticing.
Alright, this guy was
Narmasil.
Normasil. Normasil the normal.
Normasil, yeah. Norm.
Alright, we have drawn so many people that probably do not get a lot of art.
All right. Are we ready for another one, or I don't know what time it is. Hold on.
It's
We've been going for about
3:17.
Yeah.
Yeah, an hour and a half. An hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. You ready for another one?
Yep, just getting the canvas prepped.
Okay. Oh, this is great.
Ooh.
Okay. So this one is another dwarf.
Another dwarf.
His name is Azaphen. And he is a noble dwarf, the Lord of Belagost in the later First Age. The great smith Telchar made for him a helm of steel and gold with a head of Glarung as its crest. I believe that's a dragon. Let me open this link real quick.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, the first of the dragons.
I watched this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While traveling the roads of East Belorand, Azaphen and his party were set upon by orcs, but Madros and his people came to the rescue. In gratitude, Azaphen gave Madros the helm of Telchar, and thus it passed on by circuitous routes to ultimately become an heirloom of the House of Hador, the dragon helm of Dor Eomen. So the House of Hador is basically the forefathers of the kings of Numenor. They did
Was
No. At this time.
Are there really any vagabond dwarves, though?
Well, I mean, in the Third Age, after Smaug took their mountain, and the Balrog took their Moria.
This is like a
Wow, that's buzzing.
yikes! It's like Centipede.
I can repeat what I said if.
So, once Smaug kicked them out, they were all street dwarves.
And the Balrog. Don't forget the Balrog.
Ah, that's right.
test.
It's currently muted and deafened, and now is not muted or deafened.
Hello. Is
Hello.
it buzzing again?
No.
I'm gonna have to do some testing off stream with this mic because that's like really weird. So
It's
yeah,
the first time it's happened in our.
I blame it on the
experiences.
fact that I moved the computer and everything. That's what
Yeah.
happened. The mic got mad.
So I'm giving him his dragon helmet.
Awesome. Let me come take a look.
I like it. Yes, fancy hats make everything better.
This man was known for the fancy hat. Got somebody else to make for him. He ended up somewhere in a fancy house. And also, the fancy hat covers up most of his face,
Oh my goodness.
as a helmet should.
I mean, you are correct. It's not very protective if it doesn't, you know.
I mean, it's made of
Cover
gold
much.
and steel. So, I don't know how protective it's going to be.
Well,
Well,
gold has to be the embellishment. Steel's pretty good.
And also there's magic involved, maybe. That's something you have to factor in.
Very true.
All right, this guy is all helmet.
I mean, it's a dragon helmet. It's really... Do you need anything besides that to really tell what is important about this character?
Right?
Okay, it kind of looks like his mustache is the dragon's mustache.
I love it.
Like, if he has a red beard, it would actually look kind of like fire, which would look pretty cool.
Oh, I like this.
If you're gonna be known for a helmet, then go
Then
all
this
the
is
way.
the helmet to be known for. I like it.
This guy did not die of a cranial injury, and that was what he wished. He's gonna have kind of thick neckwear to brace the amount of weight from the helmet. His armor kind of supported too.
Nice, nice.
I like fantasy armor that doesn't actually protect anything but like the top of your shoulders. That's
Well, if
ideal.
they are dwarves, so technically a lot of the things they're fighting are taller than them, and that's the main part of them that faces upward.
Fair. I mean, I think of like, there's a lot of suits of armor in fancy people's houses, and those suits of armor were never made to be worn by anyone. They're just made to like stand there and look fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of this stuff that would have just been for dress.
And I imagine that ones who weren't nobles probably did actually, you know, have proper armor, but they're protecting the most important parts from people who are tall. The head and the shoulders, and if the person can actually swing their sword low enough otherwise, then they'll figure it out. They probably have chainmail on too. Like mithril chainmail.
Oh yeah, that's good. This stuff can
Underneath.
totally be mithril. So you could basically just put like a tabard or some sort of cloak over mithril and be totally fine.
Yeah.
Get yourself a hat who can do this.
But like I think it's Bilbo who had the mithril coat.
Mm-hmm.
That was like mithril chainmail.
He gave it to Frodo, and then it got to be dramatic.
Exactly. Very fancy.
All right.
Dare I do a 3/4 view? Okay, so his head is here. His nose and stuff is here. It has to go in further because his eyes have to be further over there. Don't like that I have to
I just love this design, really.
razors separately. That's getting it.
Especially the, like, beard and mustache for the dragon.
Yeah, that looks really cool. So apparently, he died fighting the dragon that's depicted on his helm.
Oh, he flew too close to the sun.
Yep.
And the sun breathed fire at him.
I mean, to be fair, that sounds like something he might not even be mad about. Like, at least is the best way for him to go out.
As his final act, he pulled out a knife that he had, and Glamdrung was actually trying to like squish him with his body, and he stabbed him with the knife and caused a great enough wound that the dragon actually retreated from battle. But he died.
But what a way to go.
Exactly.
All right, this helmet guy has been helmeted.
Awesome.
Kind of samurai helmet-ish.
That looks so cool.
It does.
Wow.
All right.
All right. One more?
Sure.
I'm good for it. I'm just doing a stretch.
Okay. And as a reminder, this guy's name is Azaphen.
The helmet guy?
Yes.
I already saved the file as helmetguy.jpg or .krt since it's a Krita file.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, I'm more amused by, either misspellings or helmet guy that I'm just
Yep.
not bothering to say anything. It's kind of like my mother with anime names. She's probably watched more than I have at this point. But,
Oh, wow.
sometimes she gets them. She doesn't remember some of these names. And it's not even the Japanese names. Like, she's messed up Full Metal Alchemist names. So,
Yeah, where the main character's named Edward.
yes. She was calling Alphonse Armor Boy for a bit. So it's not about the Japanese names, it's just about names.
All right. We ready for the next one?
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
a bit more famous of an elf, at least to those who know Tolkien's lore. This is one of Elrond's sons, Elrond. with Elladan, one of the twin sons of Elrond, born in the early years of the Third Age. Both the brothers were dark-haired and gray-eyed, and were said to be so similar that few could tell them apart. In the year of the Third Age, 2509, their mother Celebrian was captured and poisoned by orcs in the Misty Mountains. Her sons rode to her aid and succeeded in rescuing their mother. But though the poison was cured, the horror of her ordeal drove her to sail into the west in the following year. The torment of their mother left the brothers with a fierce hatred of the orcs, and they pursued them in alliance with the Rangers. Long after, in Third Age 2933, they rode against the orcs with Arathon II, the then chieftain of the Dunedain. An orc arrow struck him in the eye and killed him, leaving his young son fatherless. That son was Aragorn, who was fostered by Elrond, and within a few years he joined Elladan and Elrond in their errantry. It's sort of like understood in Tolkien lore that the twins were very mischievous. In the War of the Rings, the twins acted as scouts for their father and were sent to Lorien to confer with Celeborn and Galadriel.
The buzzing is going on and off. Buzzing.
Buzz?
Still buzzing.
Low
Still
level buzz,
buzzing.
but buzz.
Tiny buzz.
Is it better?
It's not gone, but it is better.
Okay.
And now it's gone. And, well, sort of.
It's intermittent.
Yeah.
So basically, they joined up with the Broken Fellowship with Aragorn, fought with him at the gates of Moria, and then Elrond and Elladan were present at Aragorn's coronation, and then rode north. And then later life, they were both remained at Rivendell. And it's not really noted whether or not they made which choice they made of whether to sail into the west or remain and become mortal, because they're both the twins are half elven, so they got the same choice as their dad.
Lots of, well, half elves aren't as very common in
It's doing it.
Tolkien lore, but even when they are, it's kind of like they usually seem to get a choice of whether they, live as elves or live as humans.
Better?
No.
No. We were very quick on that one.
Look, I got both of them.
Just the same expression.
Better?
Yes.
I just have to unplug and plug in my mic every once in a while. Goody!
Just the same guy twice.
Of course.
Ah. Beautiful.
I just the reason he has this expression is because I think it's the expression I would wear if I were the son of a guy who just named me his name, but with the last syllable repeated.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you have a point.
All right, we have illuminated the pages of Jert's work.
Alright, so, Felix, I feel like you should look into, Hold on. Let me fix this.
Ah!
No. Well, you sound like you're really far away.
Me?
Or no, never mind. I'm
No.
Hello?
my own sound. Okay,
Still-
there you go.
So,
Well, now we have Buzz.
It's bad.
Sorry.
Do
And then
the
it was
same
your
room,
audio.
one microphone.
here we go. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes,
Okay.
and not anything else.
So, Felix, you should look in in Discord real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a confession.
I have a confession to make. Is it? Where do I need to go?
Just
The video.
the Serious Gamers chat and look at my video.
Serious gamers only look at your video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. LOTR character or prescription drug. Characters 2, drugs 4. Correct.
The best part, Narbasil was a character.
Darmasil was a character. I thought you were going to catch on at that one. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna say that it's a drug.
So, like, what have I been drawing this whole time?
You've been drawing actual characters,
With
Some of
the wrong
names have been
name.
with the
prescription
wrong
drugs.
names. Yes.
Okay, I was kind of starting to wonder.
So, yeah,
And Narbasil was a real one. Like, that was a real name.
that was a real name. That was what was really funny.
Yeah.
It sounds so much like a digestive
Yes.
drug,
Yes.
like Pepto-Bismol.
You see why this is
Right.
a legitimate game to play. Yes.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, Peri's been secretly guessing this whole time. Actually did
That's-
pretty well. Like,
yeah.
so, yeah, that was a lot of
I
fun.
love that there's been a side game this whole time.
Yeah. This is why I was not looking things up and was just kind of trying to BS about Tolkien. Well, I think I did pretty good at
You
actually
did,
saying legitimate
yeah.
things about Tolkien lore, but there were times when I was going, well, this makes sense.
So, yeah, we were playing that. We may or may not play it in the future. We're not going to tell you ahead of time. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So, anyways, for anyone who happened to stop by the stream or catches a VOD later, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our little game within a game, and we will see you next time.
Later.